up in us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tottenham Away. It's our post-match show. Spurs, unbelievable. We got a point at the Etihad. This fixture never fails to let us down. It is arguably the most craziest game of football in the Premier League. Every time Spurs play Man City, we've got Ellie joining us. Ellie,
hello, Stel. How you doing?
I just can't believe the drama in this game every time we play.
Do you know what? And I called the score 3-3, so I'm really
You did.
happy. And my daughter just phoned me, my daughter Sophia. She said she put us to score 3 goals and she won 120 quid. So it's been a good day for the Kakaratosis. Yeah. What a game, though. What a game.
Just
twists and turns, some bad play, some brilliant play. You know, we shot ourselves in the foot a bit in the first half because we laid off them a bit too much and let them dictate the play. But the second half, we came out with a different game plan, which I was very pleased that we got stuck in and we started to bite at them and they tired. Like we did against Aston Villa, they tired. Right. So we took advantage of that, I thought. Yeah.
Well, I want to get your breakdown of the game in a minute. I just want to quickly say hello to everyone in the chat. So
Okay.
let's say hello to Roy. Fantastic, but unexpected. Big up to Tottenham family. Big up to you, my man. Tony Rodriguez, Stixie, Dino in the house. El Said, back Ange or Levy out. Scott M saying no more Levy out. Ange is bringing vibes. He's getting us draws. Scott M is not impressed. Got Jason in the house. Says, big up to everyone. We showed some bottle for sure. Tom Thacker. Ange Ball is the way, he says. We've got William in the house. Big up to you. Andy, big up. Should be a great show. Yes, it will. We've got Chris, Gombar. Big up everyone. 46 possession against City with our depleted squad. Not a bad day. Yeah, it's true. With the depleted squad. Cold shot in the house. We've got Richard. Decent result considering. He says we've got Norman predicted 4-0 to City. That went a bit wrong then, Norman. Jay says, great match. What's going on with Basuma? Is he regressing? We'll get into Basuma during the match. Lee's in the house, big up Stell and the Queen, he says.
Yes.
Ron, funny we lost to the bottom teams and got points against the so-called title contenders. We're a funny old club, aren't we? Stell, what do you think of Pedro today? We'll discuss. We'll get into it, don't worry. Gary says, what a match. We need to beat West Ham and bet more points next month. We need a big January window. Yes, we do. Ed's in the house. Ellie delighted with her boy Højbjerg.
Yes. I'm always delighted with him.
You're his biggest fan. Eurocave says, hello, Stell, me and you predicted a draw. Yeah, Ellie predicted it as well. She predicted it as well. She predicted the correct score. I went 2-2.
I went 3-3 on Kate's show. Yeah, lovely.
Went 3-3.
Yeah.
Big up to Rob. Big up to Rexall. Moon lovers in the building. Even if Grealish hasn't scored, we'd still have gone at them. That's the difference with Ange. Conrad's in the building. Hello, Stell and Ellie. Big up to you. Ben Kaufman in the house. Everyone. Evening, everyone. Skin of our teeth. But we've got Ellie. Could you send the link to Ben in case he wants to come on, please?
Yeah, I'll have to come out though. Unless I can do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I'll send it to Ben in case he wants to come on.
Yeah.
East London Gooner, big up guys, still going to win the Premier League. A very sour Arsenal fan there who predicted we get battered. As always, East London Gooner is wrong. Perhaps he doesn't deserve running the team. Well, yeah, 100%. 100%, Richard. Mark Cousins says, big up Stonelli, big up to you. Steaks in the house. Adrian Broker. I'll send you a link as well, Adrian.
Come on, Adrian.
Igor says, big up guys. Estelle, you're right about the draw. Good, cool, big up. We will get into it. 3SS Sports in the house. Big up, guys. Game we should have won. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that, but we will talk about it. And then Joseph says, Tottenham in this situation last season would have been a heavy defeat. Just shows what a great mental strength Ange has brought to this team. Big up to Mari, who's just joined us.
All right, Mari.
Hey, guys.
All right, man.
So,
I mean,
look, guys.
Big score. Feels like a victory.
Yeah.
Listen, against the odds, that was that result. Against the odds. Look, I just want to talk about the match itself. I don't want to go into other stuff because we've got the show tomorrow. I just want to talk about Spurs. But before we get going, I just want to share with you some stats going into this game. Right? So, City have only lost 2 of their last 13 Premier League home games against Spurs. So they did lose again, but they didn't win. Tottenham have won 5 of their last 7 Premier League games against City. So we went into this game with a good record. Since Pep joined Man City, they've lost more Premier League games against Spurs than against any other team. We did say we're their bogey team, but people think, no. We're too depleted for it. Well, I guess not. Man City have failed to win in 4 of their last 7 Premier League games, as many as their previous 26 games. So they were going into this game with a little bit of a form dip. Spurs have lost their last 3 Premier League matches, been unbeaten in the last 11. This was before the match. Spurs haven't had a longer losing one since 6 on the spin in October, November 2004. So we did stop that right. It would have been our worst record since 2004. So we did stop that from happening today by getting a draw. And then there's another stat here about Spurs have scored first in their last 3 Premier League matches, and we did it again today.
Yeah.
We've gone to lose all 3, but this time we didn't lose. And then Dejan Kulusevski has scored for Tottenham away at Man City in each of the last 2 seasons. and this season as well. He did it. So the stats don't lie. Let me bring in Dino, who I know is super happy with the result today.
Yeah.
You right, Dean?
Yes, mate. You?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So, guys,
Super happy.
let's get into it. We went into this game against the champions, the treble winners, the Champion League winners, the FA Cup winners, second in the league, best squad in the league, and we had no Phillips, no Romero, no Van der Ven, no Sessegnon, Perisic, Solomon, Maddison, Pape Sarr, Bentancur. Basuma came back. He shouldn't be on the list. And and Richarlison, he was there as well. So let me take them two off. Sorry, this is an old one. So we went into this game with a depleted squad, especially in the defensive area more than anything. So when you saw this starting lineup, guys, of Man City, Ederson, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Guardiola, Rodriguez, Bernardo, Foden, Doku, Alvarez, Haaland. And on the bench, they've got Stones, Ake, Kovacic, Grealish, Nico Lewis, and we're fielding Vicario, Porro, Chicken Royale, Ben Davies, Udogi, Basuma, Lascelles, Kulu, Johnson, Son, and Hill, and on the bench, two goalies: Dorrington, Skip, Højbjerg, Santiago, Richarlison, and Veliz. When you saw the starting lineups, in your heart of heart, what were you thinking? Ellie, you go first.
I was thinking we still got players that can hurt them, right? But they've got more players that can hurt us. And in that first half, they could have been 4-5, 6-1 up easily. You know, we were very lucky. We were riding our luck. But sometimes in football, you need that. And I just thought, I was quite confident that we're going to get a result, you know. Even though we had the depleted defence, I thought we had enough in attack to hurt them. And it showed in the end because we got the 3-3, you know. But I'm always confident because even though Chicken Royale, he was a bit nasty today. He didn't have a really good game. I thought Davis always gives his all. He's like a limited defender, but he gives his all. And then I thought Vicario in goal would give us a little bit of an edge as well because he's been performing fantastic. So I had a bit of optimism. But when you look at their team and their bench, you got to be worried. You have to be, you know, because they've got more strength in depth than us, definitely. Yeah.
Maury, so the starting lineups come out. City got a formidable lineup, and let's be honest, the first half they showed their quality. What did you think? Because I know you predicted 3-1 loss when we did our predictions. I did try and help you and say, no, we're going to get the draw. I had to throw that in. I had to throw that thing in.
Yeah,
Look, most fans predicted what you did. To be fair, Maury, most non-Spurs fans predicted like 4-1s and 5-1s. So when you saw that starting lineup, were you still thinking, 3-1, 4-1?
Yeah, I was thinking 3-1, but if you saw the online the game stream, I was actually happy to see Iago Santiago on the bench. I was also happy to see Donley name, and of course Veliz. And I was thinking, hey, if we get pumped, at least we might get to see these guys in the second half. And then I was surprised to see Richarlison. I didn't know he was fit to be on the bench. So it was more of a surprise in regards to that, more substitutions. But when I saw the lineup, I was like, well, we're gonna attack, we're gonna give it a go. We can't play, absorb pressure and counter, but it's funny. That's what we did to be able to score the first goal. So when I saw the lineup, I kind of knew that it was gonna be that, minus Bentancur, but I was happy to see the young kids on the bench.
Yeah, good to see some youngsters on the bench. Whether they get a chance or not, I think Donnelly came on with about 4 or 5 minutes to go. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think he did come on. Yeah, he did. Yeah. So Dino, you I know what you're like on match day because you sit behind me. You're an absolute lunatic, but mate, when you hear the banging in the stadium, it's Dean. But Dean, when you saw that starting lineup, what was your?
Am I on mute here? Did you? Oh, right. Okay. I thought you muted me because I was boiling the kettle.
I did before. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, I of course, I was worried about the back line. Not the two fullbacks, but obviously the two centre backs. But I thought with that front line, we're going to cause them trouble because a ball over the top, they're in trouble because Sonny's going to just outrun them. And 6 minutes in, that's what we've done. The only problem is we did cause a matter of our own downfall at times by too many passes at the back and giving the ball away. And that's how they scored really their second goal. Because otherwise, I don't think I don't say they hammered us in the first half, but obviously they might have scored a couple more. But at the end of the day, I think that was half our downfall, giving the ball away to them. Not nothing that they were sort of making themselves. And come the end of the game, I thought we're going to get another chance. And lo and behold, we've got another Harry Kane chance, haven't we? And I just wish I'll tell you something. I'd have paid 100 quid to be in that crowd today, getting that goal in the last minute again, just to stick it up to them slags. I'll tell you. So
there goes the monetization.
Yeah. I was obviously I'm happy because we've stopped the rot. And you know as well as I do, still. I met you after the Villa game last week, and we did deserve to lose that game. We should have won that game in the first 20 minutes. We had enough chances. So, hopefully, we've got Romero back when Thursday.
Let's get into the game itself then, right? Mari, can you send Adrian Schroeder the link? For some reason, I haven't got his number.
My Wi-Fi is down. I'm gonna have to sign off and completely turn off the router. I'm on my cell phone, so I don't have the link off my cell.
Can someone send it to Adrian or?
Yeah, look, I'll try and do it.
I don't know who Adrian is, so.
All right.
I know.
Thank you.
Right, Maury?
I can do it still.
Matter of fact,
right.
let's find out right now, and let me see if I can
do it. I'll just copy and paste it. Just wait 1 sec.
All right, you copy and paste. You sign out. Adrian, you keep making tea. Not Adrian, Dean, you keep making tea. Okay. So look, the game was played, and yet again, an absolute wild one. 3-3 was the final score. Heung-min Son scores in the first 6 minutes. It was shades of Champions League again. Here we go again. Yeah, and then straight after, they equalised. It was literally like the Champions League all over again. Then defensively, we were under pressure. Foden scored. Lo Celso scored late midway during the second half. Jack Grealish looked like he'd won it for them after Basuma messed up. But then Kulu stepped up, offered Brennan Johnson cross to score the equaliser. Let's go through each goal and then the first half. So the first goal we scored. Now, this is where a lot of fans, there's a lot of contention in the fan base. A lot of people think, clear it out. There's a time to clear it. Just whack it out. Other fans think that, we can't always play out from the back if we haven't got the players. But Andrew said he's not going to move from his ways. He's sticking to his laurels. And this is how it's going to be, right? Well, that first goal came from us doing that. Brian Hill got the ball. He's surrounded by players. He could have cleared it, booted it out. But instead, he took a touch, kept his balance, spun, and laid it off. And then the counter-attack began, and we went up the other end and scored. So what do you make of the first goal? And what do you think about this playing out from the back? Do you think it's something that we need to do in moderation, or just keep doing it until, it all clicks and we've got the right squad? Dean, you go first because Ellie's sorting stuff out.
I'm totally happy with it still. I mean, it's been like a breath of fresh air. It's exciting to watch for many different reasons, and everybody said it was crazy a few weeks ago when we lost to Chelsea, but that could have turned the other way and we could have beat them for a really good amount of chance we created. It always looks a bit dodgy at the back sometimes, but it's not nowhere near as bad as that when we've got our regular two centre-backs. I'm happy with it, and I just want him to keep going with it, and if the players ain't good enough and he has to replace them, that's what he has to do. Because I'm telling you now, that's how Man City play. They play out from the back, and and he's obviously revolutionised Man City, Pep Guardiola, with what he's done with that team and that whole football club. I know he's had the money, but his whole ethos is to play that way, and I'm fully behind it.
Ellie, what did you make of that goal? Because the way we scored that first goal was playing Ange ball. We didn't clear it. We didn't try and play whack it into touch. We played it out from being pressured in our own half, and that led to our first goal. But that doesn't always happen. We do give possession away, and we do give chances doing it as well. So where you're at with it, and what do you make of what Dean said? This is what Pep Guardiola has done at Man City, and before the game, Pep praised Ange, saying, "You're very lucky to have a manager like this at Spurs. Then there's not that many out there."
Yeah, well, I remember Andrew's interview where he's saying, "I'm just copying Pep," so that was funny. But yeah, I thought Brian Hill done terrifically well as well, spinning on a sixpence and finding Kulu, who found Sonny beautifully, and we split their defence apart. So you can get at City like that, And I thought Dean made a fantastic point. He's trying to instill this passing out from the back. Keep on pursuing with it, boys. But he hasn't got quite the personnel at the back. When we get Romero and Van de Ven, it'll be a lot sweeter, a lot more crisp passing. And obviously Romero can bring the ball out very confidently as well. So we haven't got that part. But I thought he'd done something very clever in the second half. He lets Emerson Royal stay back and push Porro more forward to help Kulu with the link-up play. And I thought that worked very well.
Let's go by goal, and then when we get to the second half, explain what you saw and what we did.
Yeah.
But the main thing I want to know is sorry, it's my alarm. With the first goal that we scored, that was the Ange ball way. Are you for it, even if it puts us into trouble whilst we're trying to lay a new foundation, or do you think, look, it's just too risky? Just wait till we get our players back.
No, I'm all for it. Mia put it really well earlier today, saying, look, you're playing a piano. You don't want to play on a fiddle or a drum. You stick with a piano style. Go out, stick to your belief, stick to your philosophy, and it will all come good. Because all these players, they're still learning the system still, right? They're still learning it. They're not quite there yet, but slowly, even the lesser players are buying into it, because you saw them. They were playing out. All right, they did get caught because their passing's not as on point as the other players that we've got that will come in and replace them. So I'm all for Angie's philosophy and stick to it, because it will give us more rewards than negatives. That's my belief anyway.
Big up to Adrian, the man that always wears the robe. He looks like the Godfather. Whenever he comes on the show, he's like the Godfather. Really.
Yeah.
Hi guys, great panel. Love your show. Love Tottenham. Love it. Love you, Ellie, and Dean.
And I love you too, Adrian.
Love you.
Oh, yeah.
So, Adrian, the question we're asking is about the first goal. We're going to go through goal by goal. There's 6 goals to discuss, but the first goal, Brian Hill didn't whack it out. He didn't clear it. He kept possession, kept his balance, spun, released us for the counter-attack, and off we went up the other end. That is essentially Ange ball. Keep possession, don't kick it out. This is how we're going to do it. But that doesn't always work. And let's be honest, that first half, we were bloody lucky with some of the chances they missed. But like I asked Ellie and I asked Dean, do you think we should stick to this with the players we've got, or should we maybe not always do it? It's playing out from the back and just wait until we've got our best players back.
You don't change your philosophy, do you? You stick with it. Otherwise, you get into the knee-jerk reaction of like every time when fans complain and we all look, change, and like all that leads is to anarchy and chaos, right? Simply, you don't do it. Ange ball will work. It's what we love. We'll come unstuck with it at times. Like I remember when we played Liverpool at Wembley, and basically Klopp was trying to play the high press, and we beat them 4-1. Now that could happen to us, high balls over the back four. Well, I mean, we could come unstuck at times, but no, I love Ange ball. Please, more. You know what I mean? I mean, we rode our luck first half. It really was a game of two halves. You had like mistake by Davis and Basuma. You have Emerson Royal. I mean, like guys, look, I won't throw players under the bus while they're members of our team, but he's not technically good enough. I don't care if he's got some new space age machine in to improve his game or whatever. but he's not good enough for us. He's not. Look, you want technical players, and like when you look at Spurs players for the length of time that fans here are watching in the chat and all that, just consider this, right? When you're comparing players, right? Compare players that were the best in those positions in the past, and look at what we've got, right? Now, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't hate Emerson Royal, don't hate any player, don't hate Dyer and all that, like, but they're not good enough. Then he's not technically good. He was diver in possession. He didn't know what to do. He was clueless, basically, right? We got away with it first half. They're at the post twice. Haaland missed 2 good chances, right?
Missed an open goal.
Yeah. The game could have been over and done with. And like, listen, don't get me wrong. I mean, people, unpopular opinion, like, you know, people dip out Højbjerg and all that. Don't forget that in the past, players like Sissoko and Højbjerg and even Dyer when he was in midfield as a defensive midfielder have done a good job for this club. But when you involve and you improve, it's time to move on and get better quality players in. And Højbjerg did stiffen the midfield second half, in my opinion, right? Fans might not. Skip was even brought on. Now, don't get me wrong, that midfield three that started today, as far as I'm concerned, could do a good job against West Ham. Now, we're playing the best club side in the world in Man City, you know, so like, I'm not going to knock that midfield three. What a wonderful goal by Lo Celso. What a great header by Kulu, who has a habit of getting a goal, and so does Lo Celso.
We're gonna get into those games. I just want to go goal by goal for now. Right, so you're all for Ange Ball. Now, we saw probably do you know what? One thing you said there about Man City we were lucky because Man City missed loads of chances. I think we've got to be balanced because wasn't it the same last week? But we're missing all our chances. So it's I just feel like when Spurs win, it's because the other team are crap. But when Spurs lose, it's because we're crap. It's like
that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
It's always going to be so true with us.
Could have been a couple up. The second goal, I think it's our Achilles heel at the moment. Anyone that takes a set piece, we saw it with Villa, saw it with Wolves. Just one ball into that back line, we're just prone to mistakes. We're prone to errors. And Sonny stuck a leg out, Romero-esque, and he's put it into his own net. I mean, could Sonny have done better? Was it unfortunate? Is this what happens when you don't have centre-backs? Ellie, what do you make of that equaliser? Because literally 2 minutes after we scored, I was so deflated. I thought, oh, what a joke. Straight away we've conceded. But
so we did the same against Villa, but their one was chalked off, wasn't it? And that was only about 30, 40 seconds after we scored. But I thought, I don't want to dig out Vicario, but I thought his positioning for that goal was terrible. He was ball watching and he was in the right place. The old Pat Jennings with the line in the middle, he would have saved that 100%, isn't it, Adrian? Yeah, he was in the wrong position. But you know what? Sometimes you can't cater for deflections, and unfortunately for us, it deflected into the goal. Other days, it would have hit his knee and gone out. You know, but sometimes you have to take the rough with the smooth. You know, and at least we had the presence of mind to keep it down to 2-1 at half time, and it gave us a chance. Yeah.
It sort of, that was what had me question. I thought we could get something at City because I'm always positive. I think, well, why not? You know, players can get sent off, you can get a penalty, all this. So with football, you always got a chance of getting something against the odds, you know, even though they are a superb team, Man City. You know?
Oh, listen,
the own goal, I thought that got me thinking, after we scored such a nice goal, and I was actually surprised Son didn't square the ball, but he scored, so I can't knock it, right? But I just thought when they got the way they got the equaliser, I thought, it's just going to be another one of them, you know what I mean? Because like it's a deflection, and unfortunately it came off of Son. But, you know, it was a game of two halves, really. Game of two halves, in my opinion.
Dean, is there anything we can do? Is there anything Ange can do about these set pieces? Should he be starting Dyer? Should he be starting one of the youngsters who's a bit taller? I mean, Phillips getting injured is a bit of a blow because maybe he would have got a chance.
was,
But set pieces, Dean. Is there anything we can do different, or is it just?
I mean, I like you said, I would have. Before Phillips got injured, I think I'd have give him a go, but obviously we can't do that. And I don't know the young players that we had on the bench because I've not seen them. You know more about them than I do. It was just a spokey goal, basically, wasn't it? It was a spokey goal. I mean, it's just come off his knee in it and gone in. And I call it they're just lucky goals. There weren't nothing else. Haaland missed a header, and it's just lucky. I mean, I was not an happy bunny in the pub. I'll tell you when I watched the first half in the pub, and when we scored, I was going nuts. Everybody's looking at me, and then they scored, and I went outside and had a fag. I got really disappointed, but yeah, I don't know the answer to it. Still, to be fair, yeah. Just to go back many years ago, Adrian probably might remember this, and I'm not sure about.
And Ellie.
She may well. I don't. Adrian's probably. I don't know. He's as old as me. I would say. I don't know. You remember?
He's being polite to Ellie. He's being polite to Ellie. I get it. Nice.
Well, I'm 60. I'm 63.
Ellie's 21. She knows the last 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. I can remember when we brought Birkinshaw in. If I remember rightly, we went down with him.
Yeah.
Stuck with him. And I could say he didn't play such gun-ho football, but it was always attacking football. And brought the two Aussie in and Ricky Villa in, and we had two good goal scorers in Crooksey and Archibald. And of course, we had what I think is one of the most outstanding midfield players of my young generation in Glenn Hoddle.
Best footballer England have ever produced.
Yeah, he's too good for them, he was. And we ended up winning 3 cups, 2 FA Cups and a UEFA Cup, and got to the League Cup final, with a Milk Cup final, as it was called back in them days, and lost 3-1 to Liverpool in the final. But, you know, he stuck to his philosophy, and so it sort of brings me back to then. But I can remember having Laos defenders back in then. And I remember one, this was before Graham Roberts played for us and Richard Goff. It was not Barry Daines, John Lacey.
Oh.
Now, this is going back before Stell's time, of course, but John Lacey was a big, long, lanky centre half. I mean, he was bloody. I thought he was bloody hopeless.
Yeah.
And we had Barry Daines in goal.
He looked well classed.
Barry Daines in goal, who wasn't the best goalkeeper. And then he changed it to Alexic, and we got Graham Roberts from Weymouth for £30,000.
Yeah.
The rest is history, really.
Yeah.
And him and Miller made a good pair.
Yeah.
Tony Galvin from Gall Town, I think we got him from.
At least he run to the at least he run to the byline and crossed the bloody ball. But anyway, I'm always shouting, get to the byline, no, stop cutting in. They don't seem to do that nowadays, do they? But anyway, I don't know. Do you think any of those young players still, those the centre back, what's this young lad? Is it Donnelly you talk about? I'm not sure.
Donnelly's midfielder striker. He's got 6 goals, 6 assists in about 12 games.
Yes.
We have got what looks to be, but still I know because he coaches, right? I mean, see players that look really good now, and the under-21s, they are banging it, right?
Yeah,
players can look good at that level and either go on and kick on, or they can drop off. Yeah. I'm confident. I like Santiago. I like him, right? Alfie Devine's out on loan. I'm confident he will be in the first team squad next year. Not sure about Dean Scarlett. I know Troy Parrott's at Excelsior, where we loaned out Marcus Edwards.
He's doing well.
And he's actually doing well at the moment. He's doing well. And I think those players would do a job. But what you have to bear in mind is only 3% of academy players, right, become regular members of their first team squads for the clubs they play for. And most of those players come from, say, don't want to put other clubs down, the less wealthy clubs, because they're more forced to play them because they haven't got the resources to go out and buy it. Now, having seen that, having watched our young side play, in the EFL Trophy when we played against Peterborough, we got battered. But you're playing against, now it's not academy against academy. The reason they've got that trophy is so as your academy players, which is good, get to play against players at a higher level.
Men's football's different.
Division, all that. And and we caught a cold. We didn't play. Now that might be because we were playing against men, or it might have been because, like, 3 or 4 players have an off day. I mean, you don't really know to judge and assess things, unless it's over a longer period of time. Still know that as a coach, right? So,
Adrian, let me ask you this question. So with these young kids, if you think about it, we've kind of been in this situation since the Chelsea game. If you look at the games we've had, Chelsea, Villa, Wolves, and Man City, they are maybe not Wolves, but Chelsea, Villa, and City are massive games, right? They are tough, very good teams. Are they the games really we want to be giving a debut to young players to? I know people are going to say, but the 17-year-old in Newcastle.
And when people are crying out for Dorrington and Phillips, I want Phillips or Dorrington to play when, like, Romero's in the team. I don't want them playing alongside Dyer or Davies. Not at all. Because I don't think it's fair for one thing to do that. I mean, back in the day, when you brought a youngster into a team, I'm going back a couple of decades, you did it when you had like 10 regulars in that side and they could carry the youngster through and all that. You don't do that when you could possibly destroy their confidence and all that. That's not fair. It's not right. Ange knows that. He's got youngsters in that team. He's playing them. He's playing the youngsters we've bought in. I mean, like, when you say Sarr and Udogie are 20, Johnson's 22, right? Van der Ven's 22.
Brennan Johnson.
And people having little pops at Kulu, who was my man in a match today, right? Listen, they're having pops him as if he's a seasoned pro. He's 23. The guy's got so much quality, in my opinion. See, I judge a player on whether, like, they can move the ball quickly, they've got vision, and they can make things happen. Kulu's got all of that. I'm undecided on Brennan Johnson and Gill, and I still think, like, I know he's been written off, but I haven't quite written off Sessegnon yet.
Do you know what? Guys, whilst we're on this subject, let me come to Ellie a minute, right? And then we can all have our say. So I think, I've got no evidence to back it up, but I think every player at Spurs is on trial until the end of the season. Yeah. And then Ange will decide at the end of the season, except for the ones where it's got to be obvious. Like, to play the last 2 games and drop Dyer in both games, that says to me,
He's done.
He's finished.
You're not for me.
He's finished.
Whereas the fact that Brian Hill does come on, Lo Celso gets a chance, he still brings on Skip and Højbjerg. I think these players are on trial. I think he's saying, look, you got 1 year with me, and then let's see if you make the cut. But Dyer, I think he's cut him already. Do you kind of agree with that? Do you think that's where we're at the moment?
Yeah. Still, and also, I would say, I think you'll agree.
I want Ellie to go. Let Ellie go. Let Ellie go and come back to you.
I 100% agree with that. I was glad that Dyer wasn't even on the bench. Don't want to see him again. Don't want to see him again in our team because he's a liability. And every player that he plays with, he makes them look worse. So I'm glad that, and I agree with you on the trial bit. Hill, Gio, a few other players here and there, even Johnson. We don't even know whether he was 100% what Ange wanted. But what we do know, he likes speed in the team and he likes fast players. And that's what Johnson gives you. So they're all on trial. If they don't cut the mustard, he'll be chopping them. Because that's one thing about Ange Postecoglou. He's ruthless. He won't take any prisoners. And he knows what he wants. So
why do you say that, Ellie? Ellie, why do you say that? How do you know
because
that?
He's done that in so many places where he's worked before, and the way he talks as well. He keeps his distance from the players as well. He doesn't get too pally-pally with them, all right? But he likes the family feel in the club, but he won't get too close to him because when it comes to the chop, he will chop you, right? Because he's got that mentality, Postecoglou, and that's why he's been so successful wherever he's gone, because he knows what he's looking for in every single player, whether they can cut the mustard, and he won't flinch once, to cut the players that he thinks won't make it in his system. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think my player Højbjerg is going to be one of them. Because however much I like him, right, and however much I like other players as well in the team, I think he's going to get the chop because he's not quite there when it comes to playing Ange ball, right? And it's a shame, really, because I like him as a player, but in general, I think Ange will know which players he wants and what players he wants to bring in to replace the ones that he's going to get rid of. And he'll make it clear to Levy as well, because he's not afraid to speak his mind. You've seen that in his pressers. He's a very, very strong character, Postecoglou.
Dean,
My-
let me bring Dean in. Adrian, I'll come to you. Let's bring Dean in. Dean, by the way, guys, we've got 250 odd people watching. Please hit the like, subscribe to our channel, to everyone else's channel on the panel as well, if they've got a channel. Dean, do you think Ange knows who our players are that he wants to keep and which ones he knows he wants to get rid of? Do you think he kind of, at the back of his head, he's already got a short list where he knows? Or do you think he's going to just let it keep going for the rest of the season and then make a decision?
I think he knew that before the season started.
Really?
To be fair. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. What? Obviously, players like the Celso, who there is a player in there, and he's proved it the last couple of games. There is a player in there, isn't there? And I was shocked. I was shocked how he played against Villa, but I thought he played very well, and I think he played well today until he got taken off. Don't know why he got taken off, but maybe it's to shore it up a little.
Who's that?
Lo Celso.
I think he's trying to manage his minutes because we've got no other attacking mid. So until we get some attacking mids back, I think he's trying to look after him a bit as well. I'm not saying that is the reason, but I think he's trying to manage what players he's got left. Because if he loses another couple of players, we're in the shitters. I mean, we're already in the mud. It's just going to get a lot worse, right? Yeah.
Well, obviously, come January, we've got the FA Cup to deal with as well. I think I personally think, I've spoken to my mate about this, I think he had an idea probably before the season started. Well, we knew Hugo was not going to play again. We all knew, but probably Eric's not going to play no more because of the mistakes and that were last year, the last 2 years under Conte and that. And I mean, God bless him. I mean, I know a lot of players, a lot of people slate Emerson and all the rest of it. I don't like slagging players off your own players. I don't never boo my own players. I think it's bad taste. God bless him, he tries. And at least he has at least he tries. At least he cares. But he's not going to be a first pick player. That's for sure. And I got my, obviously, with Davis, he's been there over 10 years and he's been a good servant, but he's not going to be a first pick player, is he? I don't know when his contract runs.
First half, they were just
yeah. Well, that's not their natural position either, is it? As well, let's be honest, as well. And
Davies hasn't got. I think Davies hasn't got the pace for Ange Ball, and I think Emerson hasn't got the technical ability. He's so slow playing out from the back. You want to see play out from the back. It's quick. Yeah, go, Murray.
Yeah, I'm working now. My internet's back on. It's working now because there's a storm coming through here. The one player that you have to say is now backing what he said. It was a rumor, but remember a couple of weeks ago when Lo Celso wasn't playing, there were rumors that Lo Celso is upset. He wants to play. He feels he could jump in and play. And people were just like, oh, that's just Lo Celso. Please ship him off. He gets by Argentina. Well, in these last 2 games, or the last 3 appearances, he's coming good. He's coming good for Edge. You know, and you know, it took
True,
injuries.
Murray. And he had a good pre-season as well before he got injured.
He's turned up.
Yes, taking injuries and suspensions, but he's now saying, "Hey, you know, I'm backing up what I said. I want to play." And you know, give him his credit, give him his flowers. He's doing it. He's doing it. And I don't know if you guys talked about this. You know, yes, we got the result. Still kind of upset that he took him out for Skip. Not saying Skip did horrible, but we
got a draw, Mari. But I know what you mean. It feels like a
result. Yeah. I know.
It feels like we won
it. And thank you, man. I went hard.
I just don't want people to come after us when we say stuff like that. You know, oh, look at them.
I know. But at that time, 90% of the people were upset. Very likely so. But I like this. I said this the other night on my show. I'm a slow burn in where we finish because I still have 7 of 8. But now with the squad that we just drew, the best club in the world, right? With these guys, we're able to do it. Now I'm more confident we will beat West Ham. We will beat West Ham. And when we have our 11 back, you know what? 4 and 6 is realistic. So I'm slowly believing where we can finish, because I gotta say his system it causes trouble, and I mean it's totally different from what we've seen the last few years. So I'm encouraged. I'm excited. I was excited the last game against Aston Villa, the best 30 minutes. And so I'm really excited about the philosophy and where we're going forward.
The good thing about what he's doing is that, and this has happened to me in when managing teams, right? And you'll see it come true as the season goes on. From March onward, you'll see it come through. When he's got all his players back, and a player is maybe tired or they're on a yellow, he's got to take them off so they don't get a second yellow. He's got to make changes. The players he will now call on won't drown because they're playing now the same way. He's drilling it into them. So the likes of players that we maybe have written off or thought are poor, I'm not saying they'll be amazing. I'm by no means bigging them up. But when they come on, you're not going to see this massive drop-off. There'll be a little drop, but it won't be this kind of tsunami where it's off a cliff. And this is the beauty of sticking to your plan. This is where Ten Hag went wrong when he said, oh, because I ain't got the players, I can't play my system. He basically bailed out on his own plan and just sticking to his guns. And we will get the reward. We will get the reward of this.
Sorry for the interruption. I just have one question, and I love the brother. I would love for him to come on the show to explain these last two comments, because I'm going to say this. Right? And you love Pochettino. When Pochettino was hired by Southampton,
Murray, let's read out the comment. So Scott M says, if you support Ange and you think we should go forward with him, that shows you have no ambition and don't care about winning.
All right. I have a question. I have a question.
He knows that to rattle everyone.
It's not a question. Yeah. Our only question is, were you thinking that way when we hired Pochettino? Because I didn't like Pochettino at all that first year. Come from Southampton. I didn't like him. I was impressed with him at all, right? And just doing better than what Poch did that first year. So tell me, right? Were you backing Pochettino that first year? The first 2 years, were you backing him? Because I bet you weren't.
Murray, I'll tell you what's impressed me, right? On the left.
I was going to say, no ambition. Because I wanted Van Gaal. I actually think box office, you wanted Louis Van Gaal, right? Yeah. When we hired Poch, no, you can't say that. You're a liar. You're lying. You're lying. Because when Poch came in that first year, ain't nobody said.
He's triggered Murray.
He's rattled Murray.
No, that's a lie. It's a lie. No, it's for business. It's a lie. That first year.
I love it.
I didn't want Poch at all that first year. I wanted a proven winner, Van Gaal. Name me one person on this panel who wanted Pochettino.
I don't remember.
Agent, did you wanted Pochettino that
I
first year?
didn't know who he was, to be
You know
honest.
who he was. I know box office. Still, did you want Pochettino? Did you want Pochettino?
I wanted. I think I wanted Van Gaal as well.
Yeah. No one wanted Pochettino. No one wanted Pochettino. I'm sorry. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Can I make a point on Scott's?
That is a lie.
Can I make
That
a
was a lie.
point on
Southampton? From Southampton? From Southampton.
Murray's
You
gone.
were fine with him coming in. That's BS. Bullshit. That's
I love it. I
bullshit.
do.
I smell bullshit. I smell bullshit. Bullshit. We can bother that. We're going to lose money off this. I'm sorry. I smell bullshit. Bullshit. Not one
I said somebody like me.
And also Murray, right?
No,
I can't stop Murray, but I'll try. Right, Murray, right? He's comparing Ange Postecoglou. This is his first season. You can't compare him with Poch because Poch had 4 years, right? He had 4 years. Give the man a chance. He's just stepped through the front door, right?
He was a reject from Espanyol.
Records.
He was a reject from Espanyol. He went to Southampton, didn't win nothing. At least the guy won the Scottish League. They win nothing. Yeah. Not one person wanted Pochettino. And that first year, when it was shaky, trust me, not one person. Right?
Well, I'll tell you something now, Murray. I'm comparing Ange with Redknapp, and Poch because he has got my passion in my veins for Spurs over 60 years of bubbling away. Bubbling away, Murray. Yeah.
Still my boy. That's a horrible thing. No. Scott is still my boy, but that's a horrible take because not one person, right? No ambition. No ambition higher was Pochettino. No ambition higher was Pochettino. I was fuming when we hired Pochettino. I'm a Pochettino who? And I'm Argentinian. That's the and Pochettino's Argentinian. I'm a Pochettino who? What? No.
All right. But Murray,
I was leaving out of that.
Listen, let me get the show back on track, right? We
love the passion, Murray. Love the passion. Love the passion.
Come on,
Murray,
Scott.
Murray, 1 minute, Murray.
Come on the stream. Come on the stream.
Murray, send him the link. Murray, send him the link.
Give me the reasons why Pochettino was a great hire.
We've been going live, guys. 1 second. We've been going live, guys and girls. We've been going live for 50 people.
That's crap. That's delusional. That's delusional.
Mari, calma.
Murray, I have your passion, Murray.
That's delusional.
I have your passion.
Delusional. Not one person wanted Pochettino.
Passion.
No, I ain't having that.
Murray, go for it.
Yeah, 55 minutes into the show, we've only covered 2 goals. We've only covered 2 goals. We've got 4 to go. Right, let's go on to the next one. Right, let me bring in box office, and then we'll go to Michael. Right, Alex. The 3rd goal was scored by Manchester City. It was a really good move. They cut us open, sliced us. Nice intricate passing, and Foden finished it. From the moment City equalised, it was pretty much one-way traffic for most of that first half. Do you just think we were lucky that first half, Alex? Do you think we didn't deserve to only be 2-1 down? Man City looked fantastic at times. What did you make of the kind of 35-minute patch in the second half where City were all over us and they scored their goal?
We got lucky. We did get lucky. I'll say that right now, yeah, because they had chances to hit the post as well. I think they did quite a lot of things really. But we rode our luck. And listen, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I still stick by what I said. It's the best performance of the season by Tottenham by none.
Why do you say that, Alex?
Because the team that we got, and the boldness and the way that they got through a game which was very difficult. And at the end of the day, we saw some of the Manchester City team crumbling. The one thing I will say, I'm now hearing the whole thing about Lo Celso. Oh, Lo Celso's the next thing since sliced bread now. I'm sorry. What's coming up next month? Oh yeah, January. Oh yeah, he's twerking for a move. It's so obvious at the moment. He's twerking for a move in summer as well. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced that this guy is going to be the future of Tottenham Hotspur.
You
He's
think
doing
Lo
well at the
Celso wants
moment.
out, Alex? You think Lo Celso wants out of
100%,
Spurs?
100%. I'm
I'm not
sorry.
sure.
No, he's been here 4 years and he's done nothing. And now I'll give Kulusevski his due. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but Alex, in all fairness to him, he's been on loan for 2 of those years. He was
yeah, but
injured for
why?
almost 1 year.
Why
He's
is
only
it? Why is it? Why is it still? Why is it still? You get
well.
what I'm saying?
You
The
could say
point,
the
point I'm
whole
making
team's
is
been crap.
he's
You
going to
could
have
say
to
the
do
whole
a
team's
lot
been crap.
more
under
than
Conte
2
Mourinho.
games for me
Yeah.
to be convinced. Yeah, he needs to be sold and out the door. Yeah, if we're doing this data-led approach by
Lo
Scott
Celso,
Munn, by the way, by
Lo
Scott
Celso out the
Munn,
door.
yeah, the sales out
You
the
want,
door, yeah, because we
wow.
need a new player. Because as far as I'm concerned, he wants to move. Yeah, he wants to move, and that's it. Yeah, but if we're doing this data-led approach, yeah, yeah, um, as far as I'm concerned, you can get a player that's competent in the system and just let him have his due and go somewhere else. So he wants to play, and that's it. Because there's a reason why he wants to play. He plays well for Argentina, and he hasn't been playing well for Tottenham. Yeah, and it's not because he's been playing for defensive managers. I'm sorry, that's an excuse. Yeah,
He's
that's
been
an
quite good
excuse.
past the game, so
In terms of Gil, you know what to do with him. Yeah, he
yeah,
needs to
do
go.
anything.
Gil needs to go. Yeah, does
Oh, I
some
don't know,
skill,
Alex.
but
I don't know about
when
that.
when you got Silva, when you look at Silva, small guy, bustling himself around people, tall people. Yeah, you see Modric, what he did. Yeah, so it's an excuse now. It's been How many years has he been at Tottenham? He should have known by now. He needs to be bulk
2.5.
himself up, and that's it. The player that I've got to say right now is making himself known. I stick by what I say, Stelios, every single time. Yeah, what I said on Football Heritage TV with my boy Perchy. Yeah, right. Big up to him, by the way, and big up to my boy Ashmatic and Alan, by the way, every single time. Yeah, right. I say Kulu was the best player on the pitch. The best player on the pitch. But what was I saying to everybody?
But Alex,
He needs to play in the middle.
Alex, sorry, wait, sorry. I want to know. We're jumping ahead. I want to know about that 35-minute period where City
Yeah.
all
No,
over
I
us.
said earlier. That's what I said. I said earlier. But I just want to just get it in quickly because I know there's a lot of people on the stream, so I won't get any words in edgeways.
No, I'm going to come back to everyone. I'm going to come back to everyone.
But my point is, the best player on the pitch was Kulu. The best player on the pitch. 110%. That goal, that last minute goal, brilliant. But he looked like a Dembele all day, every single day. That guy, honestly, yeah. And this is just the box office talking now, yeah. Not Alex, not someone that who is twerking for subscribers, by the way. Even though I need to get to 1,000 subscribers, if you can subscribe, and that's it, yeah. And that's it, yeah. Right.
You literally just twerked.
But the point I'm making is, yeah, it's called plugging. That's what it is every single time. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. But the point is, yeah, right, is that, like I said before, I've been saying this guy is like a fullback. He's turned up and he looked like a Dembele. He was brilliant, absolute brilliant, and that's it. Class, and that's it. I need to see more of this, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, and that's it. Back to you, Silas. I'm done.
Well, I would just like to speak in defence of Gil, actually, because like when I've seen Gil play, a lot of the time we're under pressure so much by Man City that people say, "Oh, it's rubbish, it's this, that, and that." But hang about, come on, let's be fair to the player. Every time he's receiving the ball today, it's with his back to the goal, and he was still managing to lose the player that was marked him, turn and twist. He's got fantastic ability. All right, I'd fault him when Son screamed at him because he should have played the ball through to him to score the goal in front of the penalty area when he pushed on instead. But I'm undecided about Gil. I want to see a bit more of him. I mean, he's obviously got loads of talent because he's got quick feet. He's got a quicker turn than Basuma's got on him, right? He can turn. He can play that little dinky ball in straight in a tight position. So the kid's got talent. I don't know if he suits us completely, but like I'm not giving up on him.
Adrian, can I just say something? If you're going to say that, right, we shipped off somebody that was scoring goals, it was direct, and we said it was absolutely useless. Bergwijn, yeah? He's done more. He did more at
Has he?
Tottenham than Gil's done in the whole lifetime at
What,
Tottenham Hotspur.
in a lesser
Yeah.
league?
So
In
I'm
a
sorry.
lesser
No,
league,
I'm sorry.
Alex?
No, I'm not having that rubbish. I'm not hearing that rubbish, Adrian. Yeah.
It's
And you
not
know how I
rubbish.
come every single
Not
time. But when I
rubbish.
hear
Every time he
people feeling
blasted
sorry
through,
for this guy,
we were away to
Alex,
feeling
Liverpool.
sorry for
and he
this
missed,
guy
Alex,
who's
we were away to Liverpool and he missed a sitter.
no, yeah,
He
but
missed a
when you're
sitter.
feeling sorry for a guy that has done
And
absolutely nothing for Tottenham, yeah,
Bergwijn's
that he's
crap.
known this league
Alex,
for
He's
how
crap,
long,
he
and
won't,
Alex, 1
Bergwijn
minute.
was
he's never going to
shipped
be a
off
world beater.
to
He's crap.
Holland and to the Dutch league and done more at Tottenham Hotspur than this guy than Gil. I'm
Alex,
sorry.
1 minute. 1 minute. Aren't you
I'm
being
sorry.
a
I'm done with that, and
massive
that's it. Get rid of him.
Alex? Aren't you being
Bergwijn's
a
he's one of
massive
them wingers,
hypocrite?
all paced and like it's
1
got
minute.
no final end product. It's all blast or whatever. Or he's one of
Adrian.
those wingers who blast down the
Bergwijn was
wing.
scoring goals, bruv. He's doing more than
Adrian,
what Gil's
for
doing
us.
right now.
guys,
Not
1
for us.
second. Alex,
It's
aren't you being a
hopeful
hypocrite?
past,
Aren't you
right?
being a hypocrite? Right?
Okay, let's have it.
You-
Let's have it, Stelios. Let's have it now, Stelios. Let's have it.
You just said Kulusevski is almost like Musa Dembele, right? He's brilliant, blah, 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 blah. Explain this. He's a Juve reject,
Oh,
isn't he?
yeah, he's a Juve reject. Yeah, I'll still say he's a Juve reject. Yeah, but on the game today, and the game yesterday against Aston Villa, I'll give him his due. But I said,
One minute he's a reject.
I have been saying on Mr. Box Office TV, by the way, Mr. Box Office TV. If you don't know, get to know. Like I said every single time. Yeah, I said this guy needs to be in the centre, and look what's happened. Yeah, see, Mr. Box Office talks the truth. Like Mari's just said it as well, because I didn't want Poch. Yeah, I wouldn't thank the ball otherwise. I didn't want the other guy. But the point is, you know what I mean. So, like I say, I speak the truth. That's it. Kate, get back in your box.
I want to hear
point
Michael.
is,
Michael hasn't had a chance.
back to you, Celeste. I'm done.
Come on, give Michael a chance to speak.
Yeah, I was going to come to Michael. Michael, so what did you look? The first half was the first half. We're 2-1 down. Look, we're lucky to be 2-1 down. I think everyone admits it. We weren't playing well, but we put it down to the team not being good enough. The second half, Michael, what did you like? The second half, we were much better. Was it a case of City dropped off, or did Spurs improve, or was it a bit of both, or were we a bit luckier, or what? Before we discuss the goals, in terms of the performance, what did you make of Spurs' second half compared to first half, and why?
Yes. First of all, hello everyone. I have to give a bit of context because I didn't see the game live actually, but let me explain. I was today at the stadium in my hometown watching my local team, who are currently top of the first light in Poland. So yeah, and we played the previous year champions. So it was a really good game. But yeah, when I actually managed to dodge all spoilers or everything. I didn't know how the game finished, how the game went, and I came back home and watched the game. So I literally just finished watching the game and jumped on here. So yeah, I literally like watched the second half like 40 minutes ago, right? And I think, and it's not me bigging the player up or whatever, right? But I think the decision to bring Højbjerg on was a good one. I really I want to applaud Ange for making that decision. I think we struggled to, in the first half especially, we struggled heavily with transitioning the ball out of the defense to the midfield. And I felt like Bissouma didn't really have that good of a game. And I felt like Højbjerg helped out massively in the middle by just providing an outlet for Royal and Davies whenever they were pressed by the City front line, right? I think Emerson in the first half was absolutely dreadful. I have to say I don't know how we finished that first half with only 2 goals conceded. I kid you not, we should have conceded 4. And I don't think that's something bad to say, right? But in the second half, I actually think we balanced the team out well with Højbjerg coming on. And I felt like the game became a lot more even, and especially for the first, I would say 25 minutes of that second half, I think the game was a lot calmer compared to the first half, because first half was hectic as hell, right? I know City were on top, but still it was really a lot of falls, a lot of breakups in play, for both teams, I don't think both teams played with calm heads. Whereas in the second half, I feel like, especially like we changed, but also City calmed things a bit. I feel like City were like pressing much more organized, and I feel like in the second half we actually posed like an equal match compared to City, right? But yeah, I think the second half was much better. I don't think it was necessarily like City dropped off a bit, like to answer your question, Stelios, but I don't think it was like, listen, we are 2-1 up, let's play, right? It wasn't anything like that. It was more of us being better at keeping the ball at our feet. That's how I felt during that second half, right? Not counting the first like 18 seconds where Vicario literally just made another save of the month contender with that shot, I think, from Bernardo Silva, literally at the beginning of the second half, right?
Oh, the Vicario save. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic save.
I have no clue how he saved that. Right? I know it was his mistake, right? But
I think City were they were winning, so I think they were a bit cocky casual second half, which allowed us to get in the game. And I think bringing Højbjerg on, because our midfield, look, we couldn't get grips with them, could we, first half? We held on there, and we were fortunate to go in 2-1 down. The game could have been over. Let's be fair. The game could have been over. And yeah, I just thought, like, I know, like, Højbjerg isn't everyone's cup of tea and that, but I thought, like, made a difference when he came on. And we started to get a better grip in the game second half. I mean, that's what did it for us, our second half performance. It wasn't the fact that City was still better than us. Right? We got a good refereeing decision. I had a heart stopping moment when Kulu scored that header, because I thought we were going to get penalised by VR by Skip's push on the shoulder. So I thought, this is, and I thought this is bound to happen to us at the time. I thought, I was thinking like this is going to go against us, like, you know, it didn't. And I thought, no, we got a result because we scored 3 goals. It wasn't because we were great, even above average, because we weren't. We've seen Spurs play a lot better, right? And we weren't great, but we scored 3 goals.
Yeah, but
that's
also,
what did it.
Yeah, I think, for example, that the performance against Aston Villa was way better than today, right? But the kind of opposition was also much different, right? Aston Villa allowed us to play a lot more, and they aren't. Aston Villa are really good, but they aren't as good as Manchester City, especially because City play much more like front foot football, right? So honestly, like the fact that we somehow got a draw at the Etihad with this squad, with that many injuries, I think that's commendable, right? I don't think we necessarily deserved to draw. And thank you, Mr. Hooper, for stopping that counter-attack with, when he gave City the advantage and then blew whistle for some reason. I don't know what was going through his head, but thank you, Mr. Hooper.
That was wild.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily deserved to
I thought it was just one of those situations, Michael, where like we've seen it in games before, right? When a ref will sort of like see a free kick situation and want to blow, lets things blow, then sees a player on the floor, wonder if he's badly injured, and decides, right, okay, now stop play. And I just think it was one of those situations, because I can't fathom out any other way why wouldn't let them play on. I still wasn't sure whether like Grealish was offside or not. So whether that would have played into it or not, I'm not sure.
No, he weren't offside.
He wasn't offside. Okay, fair enough.
He wasn't offside.
I think it was one of those like, when like ref blows the whistle and pulls the play back, the crowd going, what's going on here?
The problem is Manchester City were just crumbling. That was the point. That's the thing. That's the difference. That's the difference between what we're seeing at the moment.
Alex.
Let Mr. Box Office make himself known. Let Mr. Box Office make himself known. The point is, the thing is though, like I said before, I'm not saying this out of trying to get twerking for subscribers, by the way, me saying this is the best performance of the season. No, it's the circumstances. That's what I'm talking about at the moment. You've got Emerson and Davis in defence. You've got a midfield Kulusevski, and the midfield that we've got, Basuma, who wasn't playing. He didn't play well at all, to be honest with you. I've watched it back. He gave the ball away too many times as well. You know what I mean? Emerson gave the ball away as well. But the point I was making is that he was bold in what he did, Postecoglou, and got us over that line. You know what I mean? And with a team with an injury hit squad, and we didn't have the excuse that I keep on hearing from Tottenham fans saying, "Oh, we haven't got Van der Ven, we haven't got Romero, we haven't got the players that are out, Perisic, Solomon, who's not really done that much. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? Only been here 5 minutes.
Madison,
you know what I mean?
you left out.
So and Madison as well. And the thing is, though, those are the excuses, because top teams, you're seeing Newcastle United with a injury list as long as my arm. You know what I mean? And they're still playing.
No, Alex, you're wrong here. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm sorry. Last year,
the fact is they got injuries and not moaning about it.
No, Alex. Last season, I'll tell you why. Because last season, this team squad finished 8th, so we're an 8th place team. Then lost Harry Kane. That makes us what? 12th, 14th place team. Newcastle's squad finished 4th. They were ahead of us in the game. So if they lose some injuries, they might drop down a bit into Europa League. If we lose injuries, hold on. You're not the only one that gets to speak. When we lose injuries, we go from 8th down to 10, 11. The fact we've been in that Europa League space with these injuries is a credit to the players and Ange for what they're doing. You cannot, if you're going to compare us to Chelsea who've got injuries, who've been right down there all season because they finished near us last season. You can't compare us to teams that were already better. We've got to catch up with Newcastle. So if you're going to say, oh, Newcastle, they cope, they're better positioned to cope because they're already ahead of us. If we lose our players, we're back to a 10th mid-table place team. That's
2 years ago, they were relegation candidates, Newcastle. So you make excuses for them now.
From that squad, how many?
They built a squad under Eddie Howe. They've invested under Eddie Howe. Ange's only been here, what? How has he been here? 3 months? 6 months? I don't even know.
I want to say something about the injuries, right? Because I never really get the argument that injuries are excuses, because they do impact the team, right? I know that actually, if you look at it, the players that we would like to use, like maybe 3 or 4 of them are injured, right? Van der Ven, Maddison, Bentancur, and that's it pretty much, right? Did I miss something? Someone? Sorry. I think only 3 out of those 10 players are the players that we actually would want to see in the first 11. But the issue for me is that even though Solomon didn't really show anything, or even though Perisic didn't really show anything, right? It's still a body to use when you need to make a sub, right? Like Solomon being injured makes it so that we can't really substitute Hill with a player of equal quality, equal or worse, or however you want to rank them, right? But it's still a pair of fresh legs, right? Whereas right now we have to substitute Hill with Skip. I kid you not, if we didn't have those injuries, Skip would never see the pitch, right? I think we all agree on it, right? But the fact is that because of those injuries, we have 2 goalkeepers, 3 academy kids, and Richarlison, who might as well be worse than under 21 kid, right? That we have on the bench. So for me, I think those injuries do impact us, but I never treat them as an excuse to say, oh, we lost because we have injuries, right? No, like you can still pull the squad together, right? The issue is that, for example, when we played against Villa, we couldn't make an offensive sub because Donnelly and under 21 Skid, who is 18, was the only attacking sub that we had on the bench, right? So I think in that sense, injuries do impact the squad, right?
I think you're right, but at the same time, it's excuses because, like I said before,
how can you say he's right, but it's excuses?
How
can you say you're right, but it's excuses?
Injuries. And the thing is, though, again, we have to say this as well. It's Romero's. You can't make excuses for the red cards as well.
Oh no, that's a different thing. I'm talking about
the red cards as well.
Right?
Yeah, because that's down to some players as well. I absolutely agree, because I heard that argument you had with Sava on Football Heritage, Stelios, and I absolutely agree what he said. Yeah, we can't make excuses for the red cards.
No, but I never said you can't make excuses. Hold on, that's not. No, 1 minute. You're being disingenuous. I never said to Sava you can't make excuses for red cards. What I said is when we get red cards, those players are no longer available. So don't
Yeah.
criticize the manager's tactics when players cause us problems, right? If Basuma and Udogie get sent off, you can't then criticize Ange for his tactics, because criticize the players for letting us down. Don't criticize the manager for tactically not being able to do what he can do.
I've never criticised the manager.
No, but that's what was said. But that was what I said.
Oh,
someone said it.
I don't think you can ignore. I don't think you can ignore suspensions from the situation. We can blame the players, I agree, but I don't think you can ignore the fact they're not available, because that does hurt us. But it's our fault.
I mean, I think Romero's a fantastic player, but he has cost us recently through his suspension. Having said that, I think Udogie did well to down the yellow card. He did it before on the yellow card. I forget. I think it was against Arsenal, actually. He still kept his head right and did okay. So that's good, you know. But players need to know, if they're going to get fired up for big games, that they need a little word in their ear. Look, it's a big game, all right? I expect you to give it your all. But, you know, you got to be responsible. You got responsibility to the rest of the team. Don't get sent off. Take the yellow card for the team by all means if it's necessary, but don't get sent off.
Ellie, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, I wanted to comment, right? Now, against Aston Villa, for the first half an hour, that was the best football that I've seen us play. But it wasn't the smartest game that we played. The smartest game that we played was today, right? Because we took the pressure. We came out 2-1 only at half-time, and we gave ourselves a chance, because they were wasteful like we were wasteful against Aston Villa. We could have been 5-6-1 up in that half. But that second half, we played so smartly and so cleverly to our strengths, and we got the result because we played smart. That's why we went on that pitch. We know our limitations, right? We know we're not that good at the back, because we've lost our big 2-star centre backs as well. And we were feeding the ball through to the middle, and Ange Postecoglou bringing on Højbjerg and even Skip to shore it up. It worked because we were getting the ball out and through down to Kulu. And that's where it was a big difference between the way we played against Aston Villa. We left ourselves open, and we were a little bit naive against Aston Villa, but we weren't naive today. We played very smartly in that second half. And I was proud of every single player, even Emerson Royal, because for his limitations, he was making less errors in that second half, and he was getting the ball to the midfield, which was a very good thing that he did. So you have to give him a little bit of credit. And he was put under a lot of pressure. They were pressing him because they know he will lose the ball, right? So I thought we played very smartly in that second half, and we got what we deserved, a draw. We didn't deserve to win, but we deserved a draw. Yeah.
Let's move on to Man City's third goal. We know Lo Celso scored the blinding curling.
What a strike!
Yeah, listen, brilliant goal by Lo Celso. Probably the best goal of the game. I think there's not really much of an argument there. So at 2-2, Spurs now are doing what they always do against City, making it a game, and everyone's now thinking, "Oh no, Spurs are doing it again," even when their team's depleted. But a player we need to talk about, Bissouma. He hasn't looked the same since Arsenal. He didn't look quite fit today, if I'm going to be honest with you. He didn't look like he was 100%, but I'm just guessing. I'm just going by what I saw. For me, what he did today was madness, because Ange gets criticised for high line, always playing out the back. That is on Bissouma. He's trying to dribble past 3 players in a dangerous area when there was a simple pass off to the left. Like, I don't know what he was doing. So let me come back to you. Let me come to Dean, because he hasn't spoken ages. Dean, what do you make of Bissouma at the moment? Because we know he's brilliant. We've seen start of the season, he was just fantastic. But lately, he's gone a bit off the boil. And that today was shocking, man. It was so bad.
It was, yeah. You should give the ball away. For what the fuck you're doing? You know, I don't know. He just seems to have lost his bit of his mojo, doesn't he? Because he's come back, and since he's come back, and then because he got banned, didn't he? Come back. Don't know whether that's affected him. I don't know. Perhaps he needs a couple of games to get back in the swing of it, or perhaps he doesn't feel so. I don't know that he's got the other two behind him. I'm not sure. But yeah, he had Rodri on top of him, didn't he, and all the rest of it, and give the ball away. And then obviously they scored. Like I said earlier on, 2 of their goals from when we give the ball to him. So, I don't know. He's off the ball a little bit, that's for sure. But I thought Højbjerg played all right when he came on. He steadied the ship. Totally.
I agree.
Made a difference. He did.
What about
No,
Skip?
Højbjerg lost the ball a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. We were saying that on the stream. Højbjerg,
Yeah, he did lose the ball a couple of
it was a
times.
mess. It
But
was
he
a
recovered it as well.
He did steady it a bit. He did help. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan either way, or whether he goes or whether he stays. But you know, all this punching your chest crap and all the rest of it. You know, I don't.
I'll say
You know,
this.
we lost.
I'll say this about Basuma. Let's wait till, though, I mean, he's at fault for that 3rd goal, but I think when Romero comes back, a couple people come back, where things don't look so chaotic. Like I said, that first half, it was chaotic, very scary, you know, and being back there, you know, you can't flutter, almost like Romero last season, you know, when you're surrounded by crap, you tend to then play to that level. And so when you have Emerson, who was horrible today, and then you got Davies, you know, steady Eddie at the most, you know, maybe he's feeling that pressure. I got to do more. And
you can't play well every game, 90 minutes, every game for every game of the season. That just doesn't happen. You know, people do lose form and all the rest of it. You know, and sometimes they get banned, you know, for stupid tackles or whatever. Although after tackles nowadays are pushy tackles anyway to me. You know, and after sending off, and I never sending off to me. But you know, that's where the game's changed. You know,
I love him. I love him. I mean, and he's technically superb. He's quick on the turn. He can beat the press. He's got so many good attributes. It's unreal. And we got him for a steal. And the thing is, we're playing away at Man City, right? They pressed us, obviously under pressure, right? He's made an error for a goal. Fair enough. Get that, right? But it doesn't stop him from being a good player. He's a superb player for us, right? And like, okay, he's made an error. He's done it before. I've seen it before around the penalty area, and I can't remember what games in the season where he's been sloppy. Right? Yeah. At times he's been guilty of being sloppy, but what a good player he is. He's a superb player. Make no doubt about it. All right. Didn't have the best of games today, right? Mind you, our midfield didn't click at all in the first half, right? We were non-existent, right? But he is a superb footballer.
Yeah. Hey, John, if I could comment on it, right? I think my issue with Bissouma, and not maybe issue is a wrong way to put it, but I think I agree with you with like how brilliant he is technically, like how good he is at carrying the ball, and I don't think that's something that Dean is arguing, that he's not those things, right? I think my issue with Bissouma is that he just doesn't really do well when the responsibility is on him. That's how I feel about him, right? I think when he played with Maddison,
freedom.
I also think that Maddison and even Van de Ven Romero, they took a lot of pressure from him, right? So, because they are competent on the ball, because they can handle themselves, right? And I think with Roy, and I don't really want to make it an excuse for Bissouma, because I think if you are a top player, then you have to take responsibility on your shoulders, right? And you won't be the best if you don't do it, right? But for me, when I see him playing in front of like Royal, Davies, and even with Lo Celso and Kulusevski individual, who, by the way, I think both of them were actually quite good today, right? But I still think a lot of responsibility was on Bissouma's shoulders, and he just doesn't cope with it. That's how I feel like. And if you remember, actually, I think one of the first press conferences by Ange, he said that Bissouma needs to learn to take on responsibility and to be be a leader of that squad. Because when you look age-wise and career-wise, he's actually one of the more experienced players in the team, right? And I think it was said in regards to him being late for training or something, right? But I think it translates to how he plays on the field, right? I feel like when he was being pressured and he was the one who had to receive the ball from the defense, then he starts doing much shit, right? That thing that he did for the third goal that we conceded was absolutely unforgivable for me, right? Because as Stereo said, it's not even that he didn't have an outlet somewhere, right? He could pass it wherever he wanted, back to the defense, to the fullback, tried to scoop it over, right? Instead, he tried to take on 3 players. You don't do that in such a high pressure, high, intensity situation because shit happens, right? Exactly.
True, Michael. True.
Yeah. That's how you should, right?
What I will agree with Alex about is that Kulavesi's good in the good in the centre role.
Yeah, brilliant.
He's last week he was he hit the post and the rest of it. Played well last week, and I thought he played well today. Played his heart out, made a goal, scored a goal. Can't do much better than that, can you? He looks good in this. He looks good in the number 10 role. I thought he done well.
Yeah.
Listen, I think Michael's hit the nail on the head about Bissouma at the moment. I was getting tired of hearing about, well, he needs to play with certain players around him. Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't make you a top player then, doesn't it, really, mate?
No.
You know what I mean?
True, Alex.
Yeah.
True.
It's simple as that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Listen, we're gonna have to give it time and see how it goes. You know what I mean? If Postecoglou, again, this is again where we need to see it breathe. Because we're going to be up and down and flip floppy about this whole thing. Because if we're going to react every single week until March, you can really get a sense of where this is going. You know what I mean? Probably till the end of the season, make an overview on this at the moment. So we're going to just be reacting every single time to every single game. But Bissouma just needs to do a little bit better. You know what I mean? And this goes back on the whole thing about competition for the squad. That's why I said I don't want to hear excuses about injuries. I don't want to hear it, because at the end of the day, and you said it yourself, Stelios, you see it on Football Heritage TV. This is a trial for players right now. This is a 1-year trial, yeah. Because if you're not up to scratch, you're out the door. You know what I mean?
Alex, do you know what the difference with me? The difference with me, and I think most YouTubers at the moment, is that I've accepted now that this season is not about results. I've actually accepted that Ange isn't looking to just win. You got to win. I understand that mentality needs to be had, and I understand that winning is what it's all about. It's competitive, elite competitive sports. It's about winning. But for him to win, he wants us to be able to win the way he knows, which means his football. Which means for 1 year, we can't focus on winning. We have to focus on developing the style and the system. If we win, great. If we lose, I don't think he sets us up to lose. I don't think he goes into the game thinking, right, don't worry about the result. Just if you lose, you lose. I
said this on my Wednesday show. I said this on Thursday. I said, my problem is it goes back to Levy and the board, because with these crap plays, he's doing that. Can you imagine if we had even more competent players, what this team can do? That's the thing, what people need to understand. And I think neutrals are starting to see it. Even Egal was just saying, Spurs has a philosophy. They have a way of playing. Now, when we start getting pieces, right? I mean, it all comes down. I hate bringing it up.
The same people that crap on Spurs are now saying, "Oh, you know what? They kind of do have a philosophy." They're all jealous, man. They're jealous, except for the Man City. They're jealous of maybe Arsenal, but the rest, they're jealous of what we're trying to do.
It goes back. If Ange fails, it's going to be like every other manager leaving the board did not back him. And I'm not talking about getting $100 million player or $150 million player. I'm talking about back him by getting the players that could truly play his system. To be able to draw, maybe City didn't play their best game. Well, they haven't really played the best. They haven't won.
Murray, until Levy does that. Murray, until Levy does that, let's see if he does it, right? You know, that's always the question, right? Until that maybe if happens, I don't think he's focusing on win. You got to win. I think he's focusing on I need to develop my plan. I need you guys to understand how we're going to do this, and I've accepted that now. I think it's a bit short-termism to just look at the results. Right, we lost that game, we drew that one, we should have.
Exactly.
For sure, we discuss it. Let's discuss it. It's good to discuss, but at the same time,
it's the philosophy, is the DNA.
He's laying down the foundations.
Since Parks left, I haven't been able to pinpoint what type of football we're playing, other than we're playing counter style football, which can work if you fully, once again, back the manager. But even despite that, we haven't had an identity. Now I know, this is the type of football we're going to play: progressive pressing, almost like Borussia Dortmund football that is going to be here at Spurs. Now at least I know, this is where we're going on forward. And so,
Well, the way I see it is, look, I've always thought of it this way, right? People are like thinking, oh, we're not going to spend 102 million in January. We don't have to do that, right? If we've got 50, 60 million in the transfer kitty, we know there's 50 mil left over from the 150.
Be back in about 5 minutes.
Injection, Enoch, which told you that to have that money was tight. I mean, like in the last financial report, we showed a £51 million loss, but at that £51 million loss on earning 444 million income, right? We paid 40 million in debt interest. But pushing that to one side, if you've got 50 or 60 million, right, you can put 4 down payments down, or 3 down payments of 20 million, or 4 down payments of 50 million on players. All right, it's hard to get acquisitions in January. Teams not going to sell you their best players, and best players not going to want to leave if those teams are involved in a chance of winning competitions. And similarly, if those teams are involved in relegation battles, then they're also not going to want to sell your players. But there will be teams out there, because there's loads of teams out there, that may have a surplus of players in certain positions that they think, like, okay, we can lose that. And then you've also got the situation where you might have a Tosin Adarabioyo or a Lloyd Kelly. Now, I couldn't tell you if they're good enough for us or not. I don't know. I haven't watched them long enough to know. But they are players that are in the last year of their contract and can sign for teams in January, which will mean that, like, a lot of teams will be looking at them apart from Spurs, because they think they are a cheaper option. But that doesn't mean they're a good option for us, because I don't know if they're that good. I know we've looked at Lloyd Kelly a couple of years ago before he had a bit of a bad injury, and we liked the look of him then. This is before we got the present set up at the club we got now. But I don't know anything about Tosin Adarabioyo. And to be honest, I don't know.
I'd have him than Lloyd Kelly.
I don't know anything about Lloyd Kelly. I've watched glimpses on YouTube, but I don't know anything about them. Do you guys know anything about them?
You know what? If you don't mind, guys, if I could comment like on what Adrian just said, right? And it ties to what Stereo said about like winning now or having a philosophy or playing certain style, right? I think the most like important thing that's happening in front of our eyes, and I hope that it will keep happening, is that when you basically Ange is sitting like at the ship's steering wheel, right?
and he's steering us towards something. I don't know what that is, right? We know, none of us know what it is, right? Because we cannot see the future, right? But he's steering us in one direction, right? And I feel like it's really important, because when you establish a philosophy, when you establish a style of play, when you establish like what players you need, right? How this club is run and all this jazz around it, right? It's much easier to make good decisions, because you know what kind of players you have to look for, what kind of managers you have to look for, even if you have to part ways with Postecoglou like somewhere in the future, right? You know what you have to do, right? With what you said about the transfer window, right? Right now, we know what type of fullback we need, right? We know what type of an attacker we need. We know what type of midfielders, what profiles we need, right? It makes searching for those players much, much easier, because like when we were under Conte or Mourinho, like the style of play, yeah, we kind of knew what it is, but Mourinho was like flipping, the formations like burgers in McDonald's, right? And Conte's style of football was basically like, we didn't really know what he wants. He just wanted the best players, which we never could afford, right? Or we never wanted to. Sorry, not never could afford. We never wanted to spend that much money on the type of players that Conte needed, right? With Ange, I feel like it's much easier, because even if you want to like buy a new winger, even if you want to buy a new midfielder, you don't have to look like for a type of player that Conte wanted, which was like, Barella, or, like he was absolutely the clapped, 80 million, 100 million player who's already established and is good at everything, right? You can actually look at the player that suits your system, right? If you want a fullback that really likes the ball at his feet, that can dribble, that can, progress with the ball, and is quite good defensively, you can look for that type of fullback. You don't have to look for a world-class fullback who is good at everything, because he will cost 100 million. But our system can nullify the disadvantages that some of those players may have, right? Because we can cover for those things with our system, with our style of play, with our direction, and etc. Right? So I said before this game against City, right, that I don't mind if we lose, right? I actually expected us to lose, right? I think I predicted something like, I don't know, 4-1 or something to City, right?
Boo!
Yeah, like most of us did. Come on, most.
No,
Like,
I didn't.
I didn't.
I said
that's why I
3-3.
said most. That's why I said
I
most.
predicted 3-3.
We're winding you up, Michael. We're just getting it.
No,
Yeah,
but
I predicted 3-3, so I got it right.
I said,
Wow.
I won't mind if we lose, right? Because if we keep playing the way we are, it means that we are going in the right direction. That I think this season, this is the most important thing, right? Like in 1 season or 2 seasons from now, when Postecoglou has like the squad of players that he wants, right? And we've played this system a lot, right? And we know what it can and cannot do. Then I will be more critical of losses, right? Because like if all the Dyers and Davises and Royals and all those guys that we always like criticize and say they are not good enough, if they are moved on, and my prediction is that they will be moved on, right? Majority of those guys, then I think it's much smarter and much more fair to look at Ange and how he is performing. But right now, with this squad, all I want to see is us playing a certain way, and I want to be entertained, and I bloody was today, and I was yesterday. The only game that I wasn't like entertained was against Wolves and against Fulham in the Carabao Cup. Those 2 games were the only ones where I was like, that's not for me what I saw today, right? But all the other games throughout the season, win, lose, draw, I think they were amazing, right?
And I think like I'll say this again, because I'm looking at the chat. You want to take this game by game, and you want to see the elements of what is trying to implement that. People could say what they say are facts, which is it's not facts, it's subjective opinion. That is your opinion. And I'll use a perfect example. I know I brought up Poch his first year, right? And I don't blame if those who are negative on Ange, because you know what? The first year I was negative on Poch. and I'm glad I was proven wrong. He was able to, get us to heights that we'd never seen. I was proven wrong. That first year, I wasn't parched. I was parched out. All right. Mind you, I was already seasons removed losing Gareth Bale. So I was already mad at the club. And then Poch changed my mind. So it's doable. Because trust me, I was not into Poch that first year. And I was blinded to see some elements what he was trying to do. Eventually, he left. He didn't win us any trophies. So, and that's a fact. So I'll state that. But in his first 14, 15 games, what Ange has been doing for the players that we have, I'm telling you, before I had us literally maybe around this time, maybe around 13th, 14th place. We're doing much better than expected. And I am slowly saying, well, no, I'm apologizing because, like I said, I'm like, who is this guy? But as I research, when you educate yourself and you see how things progress, you grow and you're convinced. And like I said, for what he's doing for the squad that we have, kudos to him. Kudos to him. Is he perfect? No. Like I said, if you saw my stream, I will criticize any coach, any politician, any person. I will criticize because no one's perfect. But for the first 14 games, I like Michael says, I like the direction where we're going. I see a plan. What Ange has. The only thorn, and it's been a thorn for 24 years, is what is Daniel Levy and the board going to do? Because even if Poch was here, I mean not Poch, even with Pep, if Pep Guardiola was here, I would still question Daniel Levy and the board. I would still question. You could have Pep here, and I would still question the board. So that is
the Daniel Levy shouldn't be an issue at the moment. But I stick by what I say. I said in June until because Scott Munn's in charge as far. Well, Scott Munn's there, and if Daniel Levy's getting involved, Scott Munn shouldn't even be there as far as I'm concerned. What is he there doing there? You know what I mean? Having a cup of tea. You know what I mean? That's the point I'm making. But
I said this on Thursday. I gave you a big up. I also am worried that there's too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, this is the point I make.
Alex, Daniel Levy is the chairman. Right?
Yeah, but
he holds the key still.
Yeah, but regardless, regardless if he, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ellie, the Queen Ellie. I do apologise. Yeah, but the point is, right, is that this is why I said what I said in June. Until he has the adversity, right, and the board say no, we're sticking by our plan. We stick by Scott Munn's man, yeah, and Daniel Levy's man, because Postecoglou's told him what he's going to do. He's told him. He's told everybody. He said everything in June. He said to Daniel Levy. And if you don't believe me, he said it in the fan forum. Yeah, when he was sitting there with his when he was sitting there smiling to everybody, saying, "Oh, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good." So we all know what Postecoglou's told him. Yeah, if you didn't want my football, don't have me. Yeah, so we'll see if he really means what really happens when the fans say we want him out. Yeah, are the board going to say no? Yeah, like Arsenal did with Arteta, and look what Arsenal are doing right now. You know what I mean? Because it's not about the fans. It's not about the fans at the end of the day. Yeah, because the fans didn't sack Martin Yo at half time. Yeah, the fans didn't get Mourinho in. Yeah, the fans didn't get Conte in and Nuno in and get Prodigy, who should be out the door, by the way. Still, I'll give him credit for what he did before. Yeah, but he should still be at the door. Yeah, right. It was the board and Daniel Levy. Yeah, so if they got the bottle to stick with those decisions, they can have the decisions to stick with the man when he has a bad run of games. Yeah, and that's what happens because when you go through adversity, you go through the whole side. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at what Manchester United did with Alex Ferguson. You know what I mean? And people forget that, and that's it. Yeah, and that's not aimed at you, Ellie, because you're the queen. You know I've got respect for you. Yeah, this is to
It's like-
everybody that call me the waffler and call me Mr. Post Office because I'm Mr. Box Office, and that's the truth, and that's it. Back to you,
Well-
Mario. I'm done.
Well,
I-
we can
No, get
expect,
to know.
we can
I wanted to-
expect. Go on,
I
Ellie.
have to.
add
I have
something
to.
to that.
Ellie,
Right,
like,
right.
literally 10 seconds.
I just
Literally 10
wanted to add
seconds.
something quickly, right? Postecoglou, right? He inherited a squad, right, that wasn't his. Yeah, he loses Kane, who's our top striker, and it's like a jigsaw, right? Sometimes you inherit a jigsaw that's a bit battered around the edges, right? And then you've got to find the pieces to put into that jigsaw. And I've got full trust in Postecoglou to find those gems because he's done it everywhere he's gone. Yeah, he finds little gems here and there, and they don't cost the earth. And he'll be telling Daniel Levy, which will make Daniel Levy's hair stand up because he hasn't got any. Right, right. He's the perfect manager for Levy because he knows he can tap a market that he's used to, right? And he knows the players that he wants already. He's identified them, right? And they won't cost the earth, right? And they'll fit his system, and then we can push on because Ange Postecoglou, he's like I said, he's done it everywhere. You don't have to rely on Levy because this man, he's a winner and he's done it everywhere he's gone. That's all I've got to say.
Well, they'll have a budget.
Adrian, can I?
Johan Langer. It's not Lange, it's Langer. Johan Langer. I mean, like, word out from the club is they've already had pre-January transfer meetings, right? And they would have sat down, Johan Langer would have sat down with Scott Munn, even spoken to Ange and all this about players and positions. Obviously, I mean, we obviously know, don't we, that our main priority is one centre back, because then, like, we can possibly blood Ashley Young or Dorrington, along more experienced centre backs, right? Now, whether we move in other positions, the other positions that have been mentioned have been midfield or striker. I don't see us going for another midfield player. I don't see Skipper Højbjerg leaving this club in January. If there's any movement there, it'll happen in the summer. And with regards to strikers, I mean, like, Richarlison was on the bench. I know he hasn't cut the mustard yet. And if he doesn't, by the time we get to the summer, he'll probably be on his way out to, I don't know, Arabia or whatever. And we'll cut our losses, right? But we've got Velez, we've got an abundance of wingers that have got to come back into that side. Again, we don't know if any of them are going to cut the mustard. Is Solomon Johnson or possibly even Sessegnon going to come back and make a mark? Well, they've got the rest of the season to prove themselves, haven't they? If they do, fair enough, we'll keep one or two of them. I hope we'd keep all three. But I mean, but if they're not good enough, then obviously they will go as well. We know the proven strikers are basically Son and Kulu, right? That's it. Richarlison isn't. So, Emerson Royal, to me, sorry, he's like, he hasn't got the technically, he's just poor technically.
He's crap.
Yeah.
Guys, you're right. You're right to go.
He's poor.
Are you okay to go 10 more minutes and I'm going to wrap it up? Yeah, but my heating packed in. My house is freezing, so I've got a jacket on. I've got really.
What did Michael want to say? What did Michael want to say?
Like in English.
I pasted it into the chat. Yeah. Pep Guardiola was asked about the referee decision at the end of the game, and his answer was, "Next question, I will not make a Mikel Arteta comment."
Of course.
My guy. City.
He's planting seeds. He's planting seeds in Arteta's head. He's planting. Do you remember when Conte did this? Do you remember when Conte said something like, "We don't run away from games when we have COVID or something"? And he planted that seed. He's doing it. Pep's planting a. Yeah, that's good, guys. One thing I wanted to quickly chat about was, look, whether you believe in SofaScore or not, or player ratings, the player ratings for today, the best three players on the pitch for us were Hyun-Min Son, he actually got the highest score. Then Kulu on 7.8 and Giovanni Lo Celso. Do you agree with that, or do you think anyone else deserves a special mention for today?
Agreed.
I think it's pretty fair. It's
Yeah.
pretty fair still.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's pretty fair, but I don't listen to. I don't play FIFA. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So you know what I feel still. You know what I feel still about these sort of
Yeah, that's what I
stats
said.
and
I don't know if you believe it or not, or if you
No,
follow it.
I mean, I think Son stepped up a bit. Unfortunately, because he's captain, there's going to be a spotlight on him. Last couple of games, I've been questioning him.
Son got the assist for Lo Celso as well, I think.
Yeah. But today he looked good. But I think
I'd
a lot.
like to say something from the Son issue. When I've heard Spurs fans, even in my group and all that, have a pop at in the past, and fine, they're entitled to their opinion, right? The guy is the best finisher we've got with his left and right foot, and I don't give a monkey's if he's lost a yard of pace, because he's still got the speed under Ange ball when you press further up the field to slip inside a defender and score a goal. And I would give that kid Son. I would give him another 3-year contract tomorrow. That's all.
I'm not arguing about him not being the best striker. I'm not arguing about him being the best finisher. Not arguing about that. Yeah. But the point is that when he's a captain, there's going to be a spotlight on him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, we need to see him step up and to pull some of these players' fingers out when they're not playing well.
How important
And
do you think? How important do you think captains are in today's game? Because I'll give it no credence whatsoever. Personally, I don't think it's important.
You've got a point. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, when we don't win nothing, because this is the criticism we had with Lloris and we had with Kane, right? Is that, you know, we need to see, you know, certain times when players are not pulling the finger out, him saying, sorry, what's going on? You know, being the, you know,
I get that. And fans are desperate for solutions. They go,
but I'm not saying solutions.
No,
I'm just saying
we got no leaders on the field. And I think, what a load of bullshit. Every player on that field just want to win.
But the point is I'm making is that the fact is that if he's going to be the man, being the captain, right, he's going to have question marks on him if we don't, you know, certain times when he's not stepping up. Because the fact is, I compare it to people in the 90s. And the fact is, there were more captains there that were stepping up and showing themselves to be worth, whether they're not playing well or not. And that's it.
No,
and that's the question mark I have with Son. Because I'm getting fed up with hearing.
In the 80s, they were just winners. But
I'm getting fed up with hearing.
They didn't need a captain. They were winners.
Yeah, but I'm fed up with hearing. I'm fed up with hearing that we all need to be nice to each other. Sometimes you need to be a bit more nasty to say what you need to say, and that's it. But I'm not disagreeing with you about him not being a great finisher. No, he's a brilliant finisher. There's no question mark on that. It's about him being a captain and a leader. Yeah, and I think that's where the question mark is at the moment. But we have to take a long-term view on this and see what happens, and that's it. But there's certain games against Wolves,
players who lead by example. You don't need captains. It's bull to me. You know, back in the day, captainship made a big difference, right? Did make a difference, like the game, because the game is more physical and you could virtually break a player's leg before being sent off. In today's game, to me, that's just my opinion. I mean, you can all disagree with me. That's fair enough. Captain is purely it's just purely a promotional exercise. Look good, make the club look good, be good. It's PR and all that. That's to me. But if you lot disagree, that's fine. I haven't got an issue with that.
Oh, Will Stewart done a brilliant video on Sonny's captaincy, right? Watch it, Alex, and you'll have a different opinion.
I can't watch Will because he's the biggest defender. He's the biggest defender on Son. But Ellie,
obviously he loves the player, right? So he's going to give him his dues anyway. But having said that, I watched that video, and Sonny does bring them to task. He does tell them, right? So he does it in a different way to a Roy Keane or a John Terry, but he still does it.
I think we'll see whether he does it in the big moments. That's where I think we have to take a long-term view. But there's certain things I've seen that I'm just thinking, no.
look today. We played arguably the best team in the world.
Yeah, but Ellie, I've said
God,
to your point. I get what you're saying, and I gave him credit. I've gave him credit for that.
Yeah.
Yes, but the long-term view, we have to see whether it comes to the big moments, winning a trophy.
of course.
That's what I'm trying to say at the moment.
Yeah.
Because at the moment,
We all want that.
because I think at the moment there's just I don't know yet. You know what I mean? And I've still got my question marks. You know what I
The proof
mean?
will be
Nothing.
in the
This is
pudding.
nothing against Will, by the way, because Will knows my feelings on stats and some. He knows exactly what I'm going to be like. You know what I mean? So he knows exactly what Mr. Box Office is like. Yeah. So if he's taken offence by this, he should have known this already because he's known me for years. So sorry that there shouldn't be feeling sorry for me. Stelios, you know this already, Stelios. You know. Yeah, don't give me that sorry face. Don't give me that sorry face. Don't give me that sorry face. Or is it just
don't drag me into it? Why am I getting dragged into it?
Don't give me that sorry face. But anyway, that's all I'm
I'm
saying.
freezing cold. I've got no heating.
And what do you guys think about? Listen, right? This isn't me. It might be you. Maybe I'm from the wrong generation, right? What is all this pussyfooting coming out on the pitch and shaking hands with the fucking?
Oh, fucking! Don't get me started on that.
I want to kill him, right? I want to kill him. I want to give him the evil eye and all this
shit.
There was
a bit of commotion after the game, Adrian.
After the
game, it weren't like that. Adrian, it wasn't like that after the game. It weren't like that after the game.
I don't like that. You should be going. You should be growling at your opposition. Give them the fucking.
That's it. Yeah. Fucking right. No.
If you're going to go past, just fucking slap the round like that.
Yeah.
None of this bullshit. All friendly.
Well, Adrian, if you notice at the end of the game, Adrian, if you notice at the end of the game, who was giving? You saw Harlan go crazy. You know who's arguing? You was winding him up?
Murray, I was too busy doing cartwheels. I was too busy doing
cartwheels. He was going back at him. He was, and Harlan was mad. Harlan was like,
"Fuck all that shit."
Like,
yeah, fucking brilliant. I love it. I love it.
I love what Lo Celso did. He did exactly what Romero did. At the end of the game, Harlan was looked like he wanted to kill.
He did brilliant.
Lo Celso was like talking like, "What?"
Poro's the same as well. I love little Poro.
I love it.
Can I say
I love it.
Today, right? Lo Celso today, all his long balls. Do you know how many? What the percentage completion was?
100%.
High.
100%. His short range passing and through balls out of 41. Do you know how many landed? 41. He had 100% pass rate across the board.
Still, and how much did Barcelona offer for him? Their skin, yeah? And they were offering nothing for him. They can fuck off.
That's it. That's right. Just my sort of fucking bloke. I love it. Fucking brilliant.
Just my sort of bloke.
He said, "This is my sort of bloke."
Oh, fucking sort of bloke he is. Fucking brilliant. Love it. Love it. You're my sort of man, Adrian. I tell you, you're just like me. Fucking great. We're from the man.
Football for over 60 years. You know, these European clubs.
We've been demonetised about 20 times.
We charge 60 million for players, but when you're going for a Barcelona player who are skin, and Real Madrid who are skin, and Juventus who are skin, suddenly their players are worth like 60, 100 million. Listen, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Damn fucking right.
Adrian, were you a shelf side
You
boy?
give it that.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Was you a shelf side boy?
No.
I was.
I was. Not lane boy.
I was shelf side.
And going back, you remember when he used to have the enclosure in the West End?
Yeah.
They used to have an enclosure in the West End where like loads of people would stand and all would sing and chant.
Yeah.
I was in there, right?
I was in the West End.
And I had a season ticket also in the upper shelf, about 6 seats away from the halfway line. When we won the UEFA Cup in 1984, and Tony Park saved that fucking penalty.
Yes.
I was there.
Shelf side.
I've witnessed full
fucking love it, mate.
Three main trophies, right?
Adrian, do you know what pisses me off? Young kids that come on blogs and go, you ain't won nothing. I have to take the task. I'll
Yes.
really fucking go for them. I really have it with them. I tell you, I'll have it with anybody.
Young kids. I go for
Yeah, they don't know
Lovely
nothing.
to speak to you on here.
No, they don't know what
They
they're
don't
fucking
know.
talking about. They're wankers.
Chelsea fans and Man City fans.
Us
I say, like, look, you're about to
We don't
find
promote
out.
violence on this show, by the
Well,
way.
this.
We do not promote violence on this show, by the way. We do not promote violence on this show.
No, we're
You're
not.
about
We're
to
not
find
getting
Just to say
out
involved.
this right
that,
now,
like,
just so we could just
all
take
your
it clear.
trophies are fake, that your Chelsea cheats, right? The most successful cheats in the history of recent Premier League, and Man City are going to follow you. They're going to be the most successful cheats, and we can always throw it at them that you never be able to say nothing against us because all the trophies you won were fucking fake and tarnished. And it's true. And it's true.
Brilliant.
And it'll be
I
true
love it.
for Chelsea and Man City, and you can
Come
just
on.
throw it at them. You
Let's
know?
have
Although
Brilliant,
I
mate.
hate Chelsea more than I do.
Brilliant
Man
stuff.
City.
Love it.
Right, I'm just
Let's
gonna-
have it out.
Love it. Love
Guys,
it,
I'm
Dean.
gonna quickly go around. Everyone can have their final say. Then we're gonna wrap it up.
Love it.
Spell was
Murray,
squeezing his bollocks off.
mate, I can't take it. Murray, you're I'm frozen, man. Your final say.
I am so happy to be wrong. The 3-3 draw was really proud of the boys, and like I said, back-to-back weeks of continued encouragement of where the direction of our club is going, and like I don't want to repeat myself. Like I said, continue to progress range, and now we just wait on the board what they do in January, what they do in the summer, and we'll see where we finish. Get everybody back. This was a real positive, and I'm so glad that I was wrong. I'll just take that.
Ellie?
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing a lot of positives in the way we're playing. I like the style we play. It's not the perfect Postecoglou system yet because they're still learning it.
Yeah.
But when we get to the promised land, I think there'll be trophies at the end of it because I can see what Postecoglou's doing and I can see his vision for the whole of the club, not just the first team, the squad. Build a squad to compete at the highest level, right? So that's what he wants. And he'll get there because he's a very diligent man. He's Greek like us still. So come on, the Greeks. Bring home the trophy back to White Hart Lane. Come on.
Spartans.
Yes. Spartacus.
Yeah, like basically what the other guy said. I really enjoyed the game today, and I want to big up one player because you showed the SofaScore ratings, right? Whatever. But I think that I think Poro had quite a good game today. And I know that Doku came off at like 52nd minute or whatever because like of a tight muscle or whatever. But I think up until then, Poro wasn't really getting dribbled past. So I wanted to just say that this is like the player that I feel the most, like the matchup that I feel the most, Doku versus Poro. And actually, Doku wasn't that effective today, right? So yeah, I enjoyed the game today and bring on West Ham. Like if we play like that against West Ham, it's going to be an enjoyable day. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, for sure. Adrian, your final thoughts?
I think it's pretty. People can be like pretty sure that I love Spurs with every atom on my body, and I'll support the team for over 60 odd years. You know, and my passion is not diminished at all any times. You guys, I love all well-intentioned Spurs fans. I disagree with them, like Alex. So I know he's well-intentioned. Met him a few times. He's a big pussycat, really. You know, and in my heart, I know he's right. In my heart, I know he's right. But in my guts, I know he's nuts. Right? But but I don't dislike him at all. You might think that I don't really care that one way or another. If people disagree or not, I'm not of their approval. I just like to voice an opinion. And it is cool if people are like-minded and like your opinion, you get the right response for it. But I'm always going to love my club, you know, to my dying breath, and I just love this club.
Well said. Alex, box office.
Like I said, best performance of the season so far because of the circumstances, and that's it. And that's all I can say. And like I say, I'm getting to know the Postecoglou way at the moment. Still need convincing this is going to be long term, and that's it. And there's certain reasons for that as well, and that's it. But as it's my last word, I will just say this: Mr. Box Office TV is still operating, and it will still go, and that's it. And you will see more of me soon, and that's it. Yeah.
1,000 folks. Get him close to 1,000 folks, please. After the stream, get this guy to 1,000.
Thank you, Mari. Get me to 1,000, yes, as well. But yeah, we're still operating, and that's it. And if you don't know, you should have got to know already, and that's it. Back to you still. I'm done.
You're done. And that leaves us with Dino.
I'm just going to reiterate what Adrian says, because he's from my era, basically. So he's as aggressive as what I am, which I love. You know, says it how it is, and if people don't like it, then it's bollocks, basically, isn't it? So isn't it? But I just want to say, I can't wait till we get 21st team players. That we're gonna, have a go at something. Finally,
I think it'll be 16, 17, 18, because you can't have 25 like world-class or fantastic players.
No, you can't. No.
What you've got to have is 11 that you can always put on the pitch, and 5. When you look at that bench, that 5 out of that 9 you can pull on, that you think no issues there. They're good. I don't mind. That's good. And we haven't got that. We haven't actually got a first 11, because to me, we've got a squad of more than 11, but we haven't got a first 11, because we haven't got a first 11 when you include Emerson in that. And we haven't solved the left wing problem. So we can't say in those 2 positions we got a first 11. We have got a squad of other players where we can build on regard midfielders. We've got an excess there and all that. But we haven't got, in my opinion, the first team 11. People turn around me and say to me, we've got a first. I say, no, I want us to have it. Don't get me wrong. I desperately want us to have it. But we haven't. We haven't got a first 11 because we haven't got 11 technically gifted players in a first team squad, even though we've got more than 11 first. I hope that doesn't seem strange to people. I hope you get what I'm coming from.
No, I'm wondering whether we're going to get somebody, some signs that we've never bloody heard of before, and it sort of come from out there somewhere, and cost nothing really, and end up being great.
Listen, Dean, we're gonna discuss that on our show tomorrow. I've got to wrap it up. For me,
right, okay.
All I'm going to say,
I'm happy. I'm just going to say, City absolutely must hate playing us.
They do,
mate, without a question of a doubt. All I'm going to say is non-negotiable. Back Ange in January. Back Ange or Levy out. I started this a month ago. I've got criticism now. More and more people are saying, he needs to be back. Yeah, I know.
He does need to be back. Yeah, he does.
Everyone, please smash a like, subscribe to our channel. Also to Alex, Mr. Box Office, and to Ellie, just to go love Spurs. Yes. Also, tomorrow night, our podcast, we always own Man City. Come and check that out. We'll have the full
I love it.
And
still, thanks for the invite, and we need to connect better, right?
Online. Whoever, Adrian, can you put your number in the private chat?
Well, my phone number. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I can save it and stuff. Guys, thanks for watching Tottenham Away. Big up. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels, and we'll be back tomorrow evening. And that's it. We're out of here. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Spurs. Yeah, guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.